Hey everybody, welcome back to the Frugal Filemaker Q&A. That's the show where you send me a question and I try to answer it, but remember, it's just my opinion. If you'd like your question read on the show, please send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below, or you can send me a question on Twitter at Frugal Filemaker. Now this is the first Monday of the month, so it is Trivia Monday, so if you wait until the end of the show or skip to the end of the show, you'll hear the trivia question to see how much you know about the Frugal Filemaker. Now if you're wondering, yes, you are correct, I am shooting this in the rain, and my camera is being protected by the Versabrella, which I mentioned before and I've reviewed before, so check out that YouTube card if you're wondering how I'm protecting my camera. I actually might make a video about shooting in the rain later in the week. But it is sort of a weird situation, but I have to do the show. The show must go on. It is the Q&A. Need to do it on Monday if I can, so here I am in the rain shooting it just for you. My video last week was the fuzzy Lav windscreen, the do-it-yourself project, how you can make one of these little fuzzy windscreens to put over your Lav clip-on or lapel mic. Only cost you about $2, so check out that video if you need something to protect your Lav mic from wind noise. Okay, our first question does come from that fuzzy Lav windscreen video. It's from the Post Color blog, or Dave Toots, and he says, Scott, would you be interested in doing a test on how this affects dialogue/speech? What I mean is, it appears to do a great job of blocking the wind, but I'm curious if it will muffle the speech or if the gloves are thin enough that it won't have much of an impact. Now Dave's referring to the gloves I made the windscreen out of, and if you're wondering if that windscreen prevents you from having good audio, well, all the audio on that video was done with the windscreen on the microphone. You just couldn't see it. For some reason I decided to hide the mic out of the frame for that one video, but I am wearing it now, and you can kind of tell, even though you're getting lots of other noise because of the rain hitting this umbrella, that it does sound pretty good. I think it sounds pretty good. If you're curious, check out the video itself and listen to everything I'm saying on that video, because the microphone is covered with that DIY windscreen at the time, so it doesn't hamper the audio as far as I can tell. I did not do an A/B test where here's the microphone without the windscreen and me talking, and here's the microphone with the windscreen and me talking. I just had it in front of a fan. But if you listen to the video, it doesn't sound bad, I don't think. And you probably didn't even know if it was on or off while that video was running because you couldn't see it, but it was on the entire time. So I think it works fine. It is just one layer of the fuzzy stuff on top, so it shouldn't impede the quality of your audio at all. Next, we have a question from email from Alex Ronsley, who says, I have a question about how the Frugal Filmmaker community is developed. I envy the community and setup you have developed and would like to know if there is any specific/deliberate steps you took, particularly when starting out, to grow your audience and traffic to the blog and YouTube channel. Well, I actually made a video about this quite a while ago, a couple years ago, about building your YouTube channel and the things you can do. And essentially, instead of just focusing on one or two things like the blog and the YouTube channel, I actually had 4 venues of content release, basically. I had a Twitter feed, I had the blog, of course, which has been around the longest, and then the YouTube channel, all of which were named the Frugal Filmmaker. Now something extra I did was I created a Facebook group instead of a fan page. And the difference between a YouTube or a Facebook group or fan page is that on a fan page, only the creator can post things, where on a group, other people can post things if you let them. And because I did that, lots of people started contributing, much to my surprise. Originally, I would just release, my videos on the Facebook page to let people know that it was available, something new was out, but people started contributing on their own, which is what I was hoping for. And as a result, that community has grown to over 22,000 members, and now people will post other links to other filmmaking sites or other articles or their own questions. Of course, things that they make, they ask for critiques, all that kind of thing is very, very cool and very, very supportive for people that are interested in frugal filmmaking or low budget filmmaking or whatever. It seems to kind of run the range. Like, people will post things about Red cameras on there as well as cell phone cameras and everything in between. So it's been kind of an interesting phenomenon. It's really been cool that it's taking off. In fact, it's funny because I try and be active on that group, but I'm not as active as I want to be. And some people don't even know that the Frugal Filmmaker Facebook group is affiliated with the actual Frugal Filmmaker, me. My biggest struggle right now is how to reactivate the almost 100,000 subscribers of the YouTube channel, because right now I'm only getting 1,000 or 2,000 views typically on a video, unless it's something that's really DIY and it appeals to a more mass audience, because there's a lot of subscribers out there that aren't watching. So I need to figure out what to do about that. Since YouTube doesn't allow me to message those subscribers as a whole, I have to message them individually, which of course, who's going to do that for 100,000 subscribers? Nobody. Something I just need to work on, but that's what I've done. I really haven't branched out aside from Twitter and my blog and YouTube channel and the Facebook group. I've tried Instagram a little bit, but I'm sort of in those 4 things is where I've been concentrating my efforts. So that would be my advice, is just don't lock yourself into 1 or 2 things, but kind of try and address different audiences on different platforms. So good luck. Okay, we've got another email from Connor Rules, who says, I was wondering when you'll be getting back to your DIY videos and such. I love your channel, but I like the other videos a lot better than your Q&A. No offense. Well, none taken. Connor. I think the Q&A show, I realize it's not the most popular show that I do. I know the DIY stuff is more popular. And actually, I've been leaning toward getting back to that because I know a lot of people watch the DIY videos. A lot of people like the DIY videos. If you watch my last video about the fuzzy windscreen, I was actually leaning toward more of a DIY feel. I brought back the old music and things like that. So I know people want those videos, and I am going to return to doing more of those. I've kind of gotten away a little bit doing some reviews and things like that, but I am going to try and incorporate more DIY videos, so don't worry about that. As far as the Q&A show goes, I know it's not the most popular show. Not as many people watch it, but I think it's an important show for the real fans or hardcore fans of the Frugal Filmmaker because they actually might care about what I have to say about certain things. So I think it's a good way to kind of make a connection between me and the viewer, and I like answering them, and I think that there's enough material. You guys send me enough questions every week that I can actually do the show. If the questions dried up, I would just stop doing it, but they haven't, so I'll keep doing it. I think it's more important, but of course I realize it isn't the most fun show to watch. It's kind of dry. I'm kind of dry. I don't know. Maybe I need to just add a little more comedy or something. We've got a comment from last week's Q&A from William Perry who says, do you use any motion graphics software, After Effects, etc., in your movies or other videos? I don't use a lot of visual effects software. I usually try and keep everything self-contained within my editor, which is Sony Vegas Pro 12. I know a lot of people use After Effects, hit film, software such as that. I really haven't branched out into those areas yet. If I need any visual effects, I mean, I tend to do them anyway, and they tend to be fairly simplistic, so I know I kind of need to branch out or at least work with people that are maybe using these other software packages because they can add a lot to your videos. But I usually do a lot of things myself, so I tend to keep everything within my editor. And Sony Vegas Pro is a good compositor. It does have some effects capability, so that's what I use. I've used those on all my movies in the past where I've done probably 90% of the visual effects. And granted, again, they're pretty simplistic. That's not really my area, and I haven't really farmed it out to anybody to do those kind of things, probably because I'm usually on some kind of a deadline and I just would rather do it myself. And if you have an opportunity to work with software like that, you should, because it clearly does amazing things, and it's just you have to get over that learning curve. So I would recommend doing that. It's something that I'm not currently doing, but I want to in the future. Okay, so it's Trivia Monday, the first Monday of the month. And this is where I test your knowledge of the Frugal Filmmaker. Now, what's at stake this time is, well, it's the same prize as last time. It's a copy of the Frugal Filmmaker short film idea deck. It's a deck of playing cards with pictures and words and things to help stimulate your story ideas, whether it's a short film or a short story or a long film or a long story or whatever. They have come in handy for me, and I created this deck to share with everybody. It's about a $10 value, so here's the question. Before I actually started the Frugal Filmmaker, I directed a web series on the internet in 2009, which I've talked about before. So the question to you is, what is the name of the web series? I have mentioned it on this channel before several times, lots of times. So if you know the answer, send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. You have to send it to me via email to win. Don't comment below, because then you're just giving everybody the answer. But the first one to give me the correct answer, spelled correctly, that's a hint, via email, is the winner. And I will tell everybody the winner next week. Remember, there are no repeat winners, so anyone who's won in the past, don't try and win this time because that wouldn't be fair. Okay, that's all the questions we had this week. Remember, if you'd like your question read on the show, please send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. That's the best chance you have of getting your question read on the show. Or you can leave me a comment below. I can pull it from there, or send me a message on Twitter @FrugalFilmmaker. I should have a video coming up this week very soon about shooting in the rain, I'm guessing. It seems like a good topic at the moment. And there's another Q&A on Monday, so stay tuned for those things. And again, always, thanks for watching. Towel underneath the whipped cream so that Sparky doesn't break my nose. How's that look? Looks good. No cherry, but
You got it.
okay, one fake pie.